Ramon, how the heck are you this morning?
Hello, Team Steam. Welcome. More morning steam on Tuesday. Yeah, well, we coming off a pretty unexpected result last night. We took it on the chin here with our Monday night football pick. We weren't alone, I guess, Mindy, in the selection of the Patriots. All of a sudden, they've got issues. I don't know if we can upgrade the Bears too much. Great
Right.
performance. Great job by Fields, really, is what it turned out to be. Playing confidently in a good, strong running game, controlling the game throughout the Chicago Bears, making it look like 1984, Super Bowl 20 all over again. I was just waiting for Refrigerator Perry to come in
That's right.
and Bogart a touchdown from the game. But nonetheless, just a dominating performance that will leave the Patriots certainly scratching their heads a little bit moving forward. And yeah, the Bears not much of an upgrade, maybe on their power ranking, but let's give them a few bonus points certainly for a good performance.
Yeah. And, I think it might have been a different feel for that Bears team, too, because it's not often that they get to play from, where they're ahead. So, yeah, I mean, I think that he got a little bit more comfortable in the pocket, still missing, open receivers and such. But again, that running game just really went ahead and kind of took over the game some. Also, because I thought when Zappy got in there, it was really going to change the momentum, and it did for a little bit. But the Bears were able to, have a good game plan and able to hang in there and keep it tough. And then, the Patriots weren't able to just go back and forth with them. So it's a little bit of different feel for each of those teams in this matchup.
So maybe Zappy gets starts moving forward. Uh, Belichick said last night that after the game, we don't know if with him, but that both guys were going to end up playing anyways, and there's just the awkward timing of after the interception, he makes the switch to Zappy. So maybe Zappy gets the start, but Mac Jones probably still isn't far behind, despite what are starting to look like pretty dismal numbers. His numbers were actually, as far as like yards per completion, yards per play type of thing. Mac Jones was better than Zappy, really, but Zappy's just made bigger plays, and he seemed to make all those big plays right away with those two big connections that got the momentum swung, and it seemed like it was going to be enough momentum uh, at that point, and it just wasn't when they came out in the second half. The Bears do a great job there. So
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering too, like how the guys feel about it too, right? Because they looked a little bit down when Mac Jones was in there. So, you never know what the locker rooms are like. Is Mac Jones a guy that they like, or is Zappy a guy that they like? Because when Zappy got in there, you could kind of even see the offensive line change a little bit too.
yep, but his mistakes were
I
apparent
think those
too.
are.
Maybe he got too comfortable. I don't know, but
Yeah.
the Bears came with it a little bit, did a good job. So, and we can go over the website, take a look at Tony'sPicks.com, and take a look at the leaderboard where Team Steam comes up with another day in the green. Good job. 3-2-1. We had the push in the NHL game with Dallas and Ottawa, and I said, "Oh boy, Vinny, I wish this was 6.5," and it's
Right.
not. I still like the
And it did by
under.
game time. It was said 6.5. Darn it.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
But and then we went with Pittsburgh. So looking back on it, a lot of people seem to be on Edmonton in the end, and Pittsburgh was in the lead there for a little bit, but Edmonton really looked
Yeah.
like
Giving up 3 goals
a
in the
far
third
better team.
period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Washington, New Jersey, we won that one kind of early. Washington built that big lead, and it didn't look like we were ever going to end up short of 6.5 goals in that one after it was 4-1 or whatever it was, just needing one more, and boom, they got it like that to get us over in that one. But in the NBA, with Orlando and the Knicks, pretty solid under that we called there, although it got a little hairy late with some late scoring, but ended up going under for a winner for us there. And Utah and Houston, where we both kind of said this one looks way too high, certainly was. And we got a nice win there. And Video Picks did well also, especially the late ones. We swept the Carolina Vancouver hockey game. Uh, I called Carolina, you called the under, and Carolina wins that one. You also had Toronto VGK. It went under. You said under in that one. So we had a nice winner there. And also, you called for Denver and Portland to go over. And after a bit of a slow start, it went way over the total. But take note of this, Mindy, last night, the underdogs in the NBA, 5 underdogs won
Yes.
outright, and the unders went 6-2. So dogs right now this
Yes.
season 26, 19, and 5.
Wow.
NBA underdogs, 7 games over 500, and road teams, 26, 20, and 5. These are against the spread numbers, of course. So
Right.
road and dogs, typical gambling theme there if anybody's interested. Right now, the long-term profitable trend of road and underdog kind of getting it done in the NBA. How did your night go? I had a 3-0. I'll just throw that out there, but um,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do too well because I had some of those favorites. I wound up being like 2 and 3 in my 5 packs. It was the same thing. I had a lot of those favorites. I knew I kind of went into the day like that. But still I felt pretty confident in those plays also. And nothing that was real blowouts. I mean, lost a couple by about, but I did have the over in the Bears Patriots. That was my premium. So it came off a good winner in that one also. I did think the Bears were going to be able to score. I didn't think it was going to be that much. So yeah, it's one of those like just an okay day for me on the premium side.
And you see, Mindy's got her NHL best bet locked and loaded. Also, a 3-pack in the NHL tonight. Also, her NBA best bet tonight on this 4-game card. So, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout. You see Mindy there showing profit in both NHL and NBA so far this season with a pretty good start. Certainly not going to fret over one night. And again, we come through with a 3-2 performance together.
Exactly.
So.
Right.
Uh,
So
Anyways,
still lots of winners between the two of us. So
absolutely. Yep. And I wish I would have been on that over with you. I mean, I was in the under camp. I didn't make a recommendation on it either on the air or on my premiums. I was feeling though that maybe it would be a low scoring game, and absolutely was not. So I'm glad I kind of just laid low with that there. But take a look. Want to just point out on some of the best bets and $15 bets today. You see Nick, he's got early Tuesday soccer best bet. And I just want to mention that today is Tuesday, so Champions League day, 8 games in the Champions League. I'll just mention it now to get it in case so I don't forget at the end of the show or something. But Paul Agaretos has video previews up on YouTube right now with Tony going over some of the games from both Tuesday and Wednesday for this week's Champions League action. Big card over the next 2 days. 8 games today, 8 games tomorrow.
are you going to be in soccer, Ramon?
I might. I might. You'll see some of the games there that go off. There's 2 games early: Chelsea and Salzburg, Copenhagen, Sevilla today, and then 6 more. Champions League. If I'm going to get involved right now in any soccer because of the heavy workload with the major U.S. sports, it's probably only going to be in Champions League or Major League Soccer for me right now, given the current climate of all the great action. Even though there's only 4 games in the NBA today. But so head on over to Tony'sPicks.com, use the promo code TonyT at checkout, click on the All Cappers tab to get signed up with your favorite capper over at Tony'sPicks.com. You know, it's possibly the morning steam team where you get our free picks here every day on the morning steam. Mindy and I go through the whole card. We're going to cover today 4 NBA, 10 NHL, and don't forget 11 from college football, the early games on Saturday. But morning team steam showing the profit. This is Mindy and I, our agreements here on the show, and we repackage them in case you miss the show. You can go over to Tony'sPicks.com and purchase these picks so you don't miss our picks every day. And these are also picks from you folks, our crew, the Morning Steam team, right? Sometimes, Mindy, we kind of rely on their input, what we remember things, what they're saying. So they're part of this too. So when this account is winning like it is, everyone, we're all winning over here, right? So take a look at that. And yeah, 3-2 yesterday. I already talked about the plays that we had, but Mindy, over the last 7 days, if you're betting $100 on our free picks, nonetheless, not even if you bought it, you don't have to buy it. If you've been playing the consensus picks, $100 over the last 7 days, or one unit. That's the way the games are graded at Tony's Picks. We think
Mhm.
if you're buying high end boutique sports picks, you like that?
I do.
uh,
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
you're playing a little bit more, but a regular player trying to build your bankroll, maybe going off of our consensus plays, you'd be up a dime over the last 7 days.
That's right.
So how about that?
I
All
like
right.
it.
Well, let's get rolling. We can promo the site all day with all the bells and whistles Tony's got going over there, and things are looking uh, cool, right? So, yep, too good to be true. Just absolutely free right here at Tony's Picks. Should be up $1,000 betting 100. If you're betting 100 a game on those free picks, that's really all I can say about it. Or won't bet to $100 units if we're on the favorite. You folks know you're experienced people. That's why you guys are here with us. The earliest look on YouTube at the day's card. So great to have everybody here. We're letting people fill in, but let's probably get the show started, Mindy, with our free picks rundown, unless you have anything else on the great card from last night.
No, I was mostly occupied with the NFL, and then was tired, so I fell asleep early. So I didn't catch too much of the late basketball games.
Well, yeah,
It's
you
hard
didn't.
over the weekend, when we're doing all the sports and stuff. We don't get a whole lot of sleep in there sometimes, and so I was a little sleepy. So
Well,
got some rest, got up early, got my stuff going. Now we're ready to go.
let me just tell you then. Yeah, like I said, I mentioned the games already. You
Yeah,
woke
so
up
you gave me the update
to
on
more winners,
the
right?
late
You went.
ones I missed.
That's right. Sometimes I go to bed when I'm, having some losses. I'll just go, well, I'll just go to bed. Maybe when I wake up, I'll be winning.
Well, see, I saw the Bears go over, and I'm like, okay, good night.
Yeah, yeah, especially. Okay, so we're going to get into it right away here and start to take a look at this card. There's 4 games in the NBA today. Let's get rolling with it. And we'll start off with the Wizards at home against the Pistons. And the Wizards here are a 5-point favorite. That's down from an opener as high as 6.5. This total 221. It opened maybe as high as 223.
I need my computer to, quit buffering. I tell you. But yeah, I mean, the Pistons here, they've been kind of off to a little bit of a shaky start, I would say. I think they'll probably be able to get things, kicked in gear here pretty soon. But, I'm going to take a look at the Wizards in this one at -5. Wizards are 5-0 against the spread at home, especially after a loss. Wizards here, 5th in field goal percentage, 8th in 3-point percentage. Just playing pretty good ball right now. I'm going to go with the Wizards and the home team here.
All right, yeah, I was kind of torn on it, but the thing is, this has not been typically a good series for the Pistons. They're just 1-7 in the last 8 trips to Washington, but the series has gone under in their last those 7 games at Washington, 1-7 to the under. So, but Detroit, they're off to kind of a flying start, 3-0 to the over thus far. Detroit has lost and failed 2 straight. I'm really getting mixed signals on this. I like the fact that the total has moved moved lower, and that's the way I'm going to go for my free pick. I'm going to go over in this game. Detroit seems to be giving it up a little bit as well. I'm not worried about the series history here. I'm going to go over, and Mindy is on Washington. Remember to make your comments in the chat here, and you can pop your pick on the screen or any trend or information that you might have on each game as we go along. The Mavericks at the Pelicans. The Mavericks here seem to be a climbing favorite. I had them opening as low as a 3-point favorite, and they're up to 5.5 now. This total is currently at 219.5. Well under my window, I think. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, that's kind of where I see this as well. Even though I know there's, some injuries here on the Pelican side, when those injuries occurred, it still wasn't really a whole lot of letdown here with this Pelicans team. I like over the total, over 7-1, Mavs last 8, over 4-0, and the Pelicans last 4 overall. Over is 11-4 the last 15 in New Orleans. Going over in this one.
Yeah, I try not to tip my hand and let you make the pick so that
It
I
was
don't.
really my pick. I
But
mean,
you're right. I mean, you hear all the trends that you just gave out. I mean, Dallas is looking pretty good. They've covered both so far, right? So New Orleans has gone over in all 3 of their games so far. You mentioned that series trend of 11 of the last 15 at New Orleans going over. Dallas has done pretty well against New Orleans, 5-1 against the spread in New Orleans. If you like Dallas, you might get the way it's moving up. It may go up even a little higher. I don't know if there's any value left. I was leaning towards Dallas, but the fact that Mindy's on the over now, and I've got this one, Mindy, probably in the mid 220s for sure. Despite though we talked about league wide trend right now, the unders and. But it does seem like the ones that go over go way over. We'll see if this is one of them.
right.
I think I lost on my reverse total yesterday, actually, that we had talked about. But let's
Oh,
go
yeah,
over.
what did that end up at, Ramon?
Yeah, no, it did not. It did not make it.
Oh, it didn't make it. Okay.
No, in fact, I think it ended up going under
Oh, man.
the
Okay.
San Antonio Minnesota game.
I saw
San
San
Antonio
Antonio put
kind
up
of the
a
talk.
big score.
Yeah.
So,
San Antonio kind of the talk of the league right now a little bit with their success. Why does anybody doubt that Pop could take a bunch of guys who don't have any hope and make them a good team rather than taking along some stars or something? So, anyways, let's go over with a premium consensus
play.
of Mavericks and Pelicans. We'll have to get it on 219.5, but the way this thing's moving, maybe you folks want to wait out there and see if you can get another shave another point or so off of this one. I don't think it's heading up. Clippers at the Thunder. The Clippers are open 10. They're now 9. Maybe the action's on the Thunder here. And this total is 216. That's down a little.
Yeah, I'm going to look to the under in this one. I'm going to stick with those league-wide trends. Unders 5-0, and the Clippers last 5. Under 6-1, Clippers last 7 overall. And under is 4-0 in OKC's last 4 home games. Also, field goal percentages are really pretty bad between these two teams. They both rank right around 28th in the league. That will also help an under total here in this one.
Yeah, well, the Clippers have gone under, like you said, in all 3 games so far. Clippers have looked good on the road, though, 2-0 on the road. We know OKC struggling so far to start the season with 3 losses. This always hasn't been a good trip for the Clippers. They've covered only 2 of the last 10 trips into OKC. And usually it is an over when these two teams meet in OKC. 10 of the last 14 games there between these two have gone over. But I like the way the Clippers. I know that was a disappointing game last time out, but I still think the Clippers long term. I like their prospects here. This line may continue to go down a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, it opened 10. It's now 9. But I like the Clippers by double digits here. That's going to be my pick. And Mindy says go under 216. And if you're going to tail Mindy on that one, I might suggest sooner rather than later. And see the comments there in the chat. 214 at fan. That might be referring to this game. So,
Yeah.
like I said, yeah. So take a look at that. Certainly, viewers. All right, and the final game in the NBA on Tuesday has the Warriors and the Suns. This sounds like a pretty hot matchup, actually, with the Suns being favored by 2.5. Maybe it opened as high as 3.5. And this total, 225.5. What do you think of this? Good game tonight. It's a feature, I'd say. Oh, I think I got a frozen Mindy, so maybe I'll get into the preview a little bit, and she can come back on and give us her update with this game. So, for me, though, the Golden State Warriors, we got uh, two teams going a little bit opposite as far as tempo is concerned so far. The Warriors 3-0. There you are, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, my
Okay.
back.
Yeah, I was just
Brutal.
commenting on the Warriors
All right,
and
right.
the Suns. I haven't gone over it yet necessarily, but
Okay.
I'll let you catch up just a little bit. Maybe I'll just cover my notes here at least. That the Warriors have been a team trending to the over so far, 3-0, and they're 3 games to the over. But Phoenix 0-3 to the under so far. But when these two teams meet, Mindy, 3-13 to the under in the last 16 meetings so far, and Golden State has covered 4 of the last 5 meetings.
Yeah, so you like the under, Ramon? I'm going with the Warriors in this one. They're 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 meetings, 5-1 against the spread in the last 6, following an ATS loss. And then the Suns, they're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 overall. So I'm going to be on the Warriors here in this one.
Well, maybe I don't maybe I do like the under, but because you like the Warriors and I like the Warriors, I think that's a better idea as far as getting together because we need a set. If we got a 4-game card, we need 2 uh, premium consensus plays, and yeah, I do think I actually my number on the total is considerably lower than this. My low window goes as low as about 217 or so. So that's why I may end up on the under here. But we've got you and we've got me and we've got butterscotch. And, yeah, you're going to pay a little price. We'll get it, Mindy, as soon as we can because maybe maybe it's going to come in on the Warriors. But let's make that our second consensus
Right.
premium play there and take the Warriors. So we have over in Dallas, New Orleans, and we have Warriors.
Let's do it, Ramon. Let's do it.
All right. All right, I'll get ready to call up the goalies and see. There were actually a couple of confirmations tonight as we get into the NHL here for Wednesday with a pretty big card, 10 games,
Yeah, 10 games
tonight. And hey, I have no problem looking at each and every game because it seems like for some reason, Mindy, we're kind of clicking in the National Hockey League.
Right.
Who knew?
Yeah, been doing pretty good in hockey, pretty good in the NBA. So yeah, pretty excited for the card. It looks like a good one because yesterday it was, pretty close matchups, and again, it was mostly those underdogs taking them.
Yeah, like I said, 1-1-1. It felt like we deserved better.
Right.
Pittsburgh did end up really, falling apart though in that. So that's on us. All right, we're going to start it off though. Take a look with Arizona and Columbus. I'm showing Columbus maybe down to 220 or so, but not much of a change there. And the total 6.5 over 30.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the over here. Over hit in 3 of the Blue Jackets' last 4 games versus Arizona. The over is also 5-0 in the last 5 Tuesday games there in Arizona with Arizona. And the over is 5-1 in the Blue Jackets' last 6 overall.
All right, so Mindy's on the over there, and I think I'm going to agree with you here. I think they can get to 7 goals today in this one. I think it's, especially if we can get it at this, it's pretty heavily juiced, obviously, but I'm willing to go in there as well. I think it's Arizona that could have the strong performance today, and they might even be worth a look. I know they're 1-4, but look, Mindy, the teams are combined 9-3 to the over this season. It hasn't been a great matchup for Arizona. I kind of like the price and I like the spot for Arizona. So we're going to need Arizona to perform well, I would think, to get this win. I don't think it'll be necessarily a game that Arizona could win with a low score. So let's take the over with Arizona and Columbus and make it a consensus premium.
Sounds good.
All right, here is one goalie that I'm pretty sure is a confirmed in to be in the lineup, and that'd be Jake Odinger. And Olmark also is looking quite likely to play for Boston, but Boston probably up to a buck 55 or so, and this total is way down now, 6/20, almost a
Jeez.
whole half a goal.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a look at the Bruins here. They're 3-1 versus the Stars the last 3 seasons. Bruins also 5-1 in the last 6 overall. Favorite in this game also is 5-1 in this matchup, and the home team is 5-1 as well in the last 6 meetings. I'm gonna take a look at the Bruins. I like them -150.
Okay, and I'm going to give out the under as my play. Really, Mindy, I mean, I had a premium on this at 6.5, and I was stunned just now when I saw uh, that that new number of 6/20. I failed to get on that early because I was going to see what you did, and now I'm stuck losing a whole half of a goal, pretty much.
No,
That's just
sorry.
that's the way I'm seeing that number. I don't think I typed it in wrong. Uh, Jay says Boston for sure. So he likes the Bruins with you in that one. And of course that's not Jay, of course, that's Carrie.
Yes, right.
Sorry. Sorry, Carrie. I gotta keep it straight
But
there.
Ilias is alive.
But he told us, so I caught that. I didn't want to make an error there. Make sure Carrie is on record with taking Boston, and we don't want to give Jay, who Carrie's using his computer or his browser, the loss if something happens. But we're going to win that one. Mindy's going to win that one with Boston, and Ron Elston also says Boston is the side, so we're laying a buck 50 there. But I've got the under, and Mindy has Boston, and I'm bummed I didn't just get that 6.5. But that's okay. I've got it out here as a free
Maybe
play.
we'll go back, Ramon. Maybe we'll go back. Probably not. But.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it could. But I'm, once I give it out, here,
I
and
know.
if it goes to 6.5, then great for everybody and great for me as well. So again, I mean, when we play these games, the video plays, with all due respect, they are not our premium. When
Right.
we agree they are, but they're not our premium picks on our private uh, account over at Tony's Picks, and so they're not necessarily our strongest. We want to win them all, as they say. Um, you know,
It's our
okay.
strongest picks when our two minds meld together, Ramon.
Minnesota and Montreal, Fleury and Allen. Minnesota here. This one's up at least to $2 now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the over in this one too. Over is 5-0 for the Wild. Over is 8-1 for the Canadians last 9 Tuesday games. Also, it's 5-1 to the over in the last 7 home games in this one. The Wild, they're also second in power play percentage here as well. Some additional reason why we can get some scoring in this one, Ramon.
There's going to be scoring, I would think, scoring galore in this game, I would think, with Minnesota totally going over so far. And they've, absolutely kind of dominated this series. They're a $2 favorite. So, Minnesota here, I mean, 5-2, 5-3, that sounds very, very reasonable, I would think, in this one right now. I want to go over as well. I think Minnesota can win. I don't want to give out a $2 favorite here on the show, but I probably would look to Minnesota. I don't think I'd lay it on the puck line on the road. So, if anybody wants another free pick about I like Minnesota even at $2. I think that's a fair price, but kind of that's a big favorite. Here we can go on the over at 6.5. It's what, juiced up there to -130, but I think that's okay. Let's go over. We got another one, Mindy.
We're doing it. Consensus play.
The consensus plays are doing well, so let's keep it going. New Jersey and Detroit in this one, and Detroit is an underdog here, I believe now. New Jersey, I'm showing New Jersey -$1.15 and 6.5 over 30.
Yeah. Interesting, right? I'm going to go to the under, though. Under is 6-2 in the Devils' last 8 versus a team with a winning record. Red Wings are third in goals against, and the Devils are 31st in shooting percentage. They're having a little difficulty putting the puck in the net. I like the under in this one.
Okay. For me, I think I would probably look now. I know it's moved towards New Jersey there, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on Detroit here in this one. New Jersey's 0-4 in the last 4 meetings in this series, and they've gone 5-14 their last 19 at Detroit. We know that Detroit, you know, that's a big sample of 24 games, but
Right.
really it's just a few years, and Detroit has, been very subpar over that period. The series has gone over a little bit in Detroit. It does worry me a little bit about getting on board with you, as some of my model end up just a little bit over 7 goals. So for me, it's going to be Detroit at home, and Mindy says go under in New Jersey and Detroit. Oh boy, here's a pretty good matchup, it looks like to me,
Right?
especially if these are the goalies in there. Two of the hottest goalies, certainly in the league right now, to start the season. They're combined 6-0-2 in net. So this is one of the highlights of the night, I'm sure, on the sports card.
Yeah, this is where we usually get all of the commenter friends here that on the Steam team that like the Rangers. So let's hear you, the Ranger folks. I'm going to take the Rangers as well. Favorites 4-1 in the last 5 meetings. Home team here 6-1 in the last 7. I like the Rangers at home tonight, -115.
All right. Mindy says take the Rangers. So, these goalies are hot. Like I said, Colorado's 4-1 in the last 5 meetings. The series has gone 4-1 to the over when playing at New York. My model kind of really levels out right at this number. I thought a 7 might be possible. I'm just going to have to go. We're going to have an opposite pick here. I've got Colorado. Mindy has the Rangers. Oh
Ramon.
boy.
Godzilla versus King Kong. It's the grudge match.
Yeah, and
Hulk
Matt said,
Hogan versus Andre the Giant.
I've got Mario in my team.
Yeah,
Matt
right.
says go overtime.
See,
Oh,
look
I've
at
got
you're getting
mine
more. You're getting
too.
more.
Yeah.
I thought for sure I'd get these Rangers fans. They must be all off the clock today.
All right, Florida and Bobrovsky on the road here. 230 for sure. This total's dropped though, 6.5 over 25.
Yeah, so we're doing I didn't quite hear Florida, right?
Oh yeah, Florida and Chicago. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the underplay in this one. Under 5-0 in the last 5 Tuesday games. 6-1 versus a team with a winning record to the under. Under's 10-4-1 for those Blackhawks after scoring 5 goals the previous game, which they did versus the Kraken. I'm going to take the under 6.5.
All right, Mindy gives out the under here, and I'm going to just be on a big favorite here. I don't like the puck line because Florida's 4-1-1 so far, but they're 1-5 to the puck line, so they can't cover the extra goal. What are you going to do? I want to pick a winner. I'm going to take Florida. I'm going to take them in the lay 230. It's a free pick. What do I care? Florida 4-0 in the series. It's not a I don't mean it like that. I don't
No, I
care.
don't.
I just think Florida. I mean, maybe it's not a fair price. Maybe not off of a fair price certainly, but maybe $2 is more of a fair price. We're paying a little bit of a tax even here. Over though has gone 5-2 last 7 meetings in Chicago, but Mindy says go under. I'm going to say a lay 230 with Florida. I'll just lay 230 with Florida. Jay says, yeah, I think he's saying in this one, not bad as a dog. If he, well, he might have been talking about the Ranger game again. If you guys can, I mean, not Jay, of course, Carrie, but again, if you guys
The
put the
team, so he can have a little bit.
game in there, sometimes I don't want to say the wrong game.
Right.
Pittsburgh and Calgary in this one. Pittsburgh making the long trip, but they're on a dog here. Calgary, they're up to $1.75 and
Goodness.
6.5 over 20, and maybe even going higher. Big move on Calgary this morning.
Yeah, I'm going to go over the total. Penguins, they're 4-0 in the last 5 or 4. 4-0 in the last 4. Penguins 8-0 to the over versus a team with a winning record. And then 6-1 the last 7 road games here have gone over for the Penguins. The over is 5-1-1 in the Flames' last 7 following a win. I'm going to go over 6.5 goals.
Well, the last 4 meetings have gone under, but I just can't ignore the way that the Pittsburgh games are going over, including last night's game of 8 goals. They've gone over now in 5 of 6. Pretty good teams right now, I'd say. Even though Pittsburgh lost that game, these two teams are combined 8-2-1. So another good matchup tonight. But Calgary, man, they're getting all that action. That really is a bit disturbing. I kind of like the underdog here, I would think. But after losing with them last night in Edmonton and being caught in that Alberta sandwich right there, I'll go with you on the over, Mindy. I think 7 goals is very reasonable considering what we saw last night. So that's our third NHL consensus premium with Pittsburgh and Calgary to go over. We've got 3 overs.
We do.
Uh-oh. Oh boy, Mr. Unders on a bunch of overs.
Right.
Buffalo and Seattle here. Seattle favorite. They're down to $1.25, 6.5 over 25. Totals moved up.
Yeah, and see, I feel like I'm in over circle. I'm taking over again. 4-0-1 the last 5 games when the opponent allows 5 goals or more. They did do that versus the Flyers, like we talked about. The over is 9-1 in the last 11 after allowing 2 goals or less the previous game for the Sabres. And then the Kraken, they're 5-0 to the over in the last 5, 4-0 over the 4-0 in their last Tuesday games as well. So I'm going to go over again, Ramon.
Gosh. I mean, that's the way I'm leaning too. This is really
Bizarro world today.
Well, I mean, Buffalo's playing great. They're 4-1, and they're 5-0 against the puck line so far, and they've won games on the road, 3-0 on the road. You know how I like that. Seattle 0-2-1 at home. My first instinct was I kind of liked Seattle here, especially at a very reasonable price. You got to figure eventually that's got to catch up a little bit with Buffalo. But look, I kind of like the over here myself again in this one. We're calling for goals. We're calling for goals tonight. Let's go over.
All right, we're doing
Let's
it.
go over 6.5. Boy, 4 overs. This is very interesting. Boy.
Right? And a lot of goals too.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of 6.5. So again, they're all 6.5 really, except for that Dallas game, which I liked under. So I don't know. That's weird. Okay, Vegas off a nice performance last night. They ended up winning that game, Mindy, while you'd probably counting sheep. But
That's right.
They ended up getting that win in that high-profile matchup against the Maple Leafs, and tonight they're going to be taking on San Jose on the road. So Vegas wins at home, they hit the road, turn right around, and have to play a road game in San Jose. They are $1.70, total 6.5 under 20.
Yeah, I was looking at, I don't know, you just run across different stuff, like ESPN or Yahoo or whatever, where you see your scores, and you look at this one and it says on all of them, VGK 100%, San Jose 0% win chance. And I say, not so fast. I said, no one's giving these poor Sharks a chance here in this one. They had a 3-0 victory over the Flyers, a 1-point loss to the Devils, a win over the Rangers, a 96% kill percentage. Raymer in goal. He's only given up 2 goals a game. Give me the Sharks plus 150. I like the upset at home.
I kind of do too, and mostly because of that, the travel situation a little bit. This has been, a Vegas dominated series, no doubt
I understand.
about it. I mean,
They're like
they've,
5-0 against them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and San Jose hasn't even, I talked about them playing all those road games they played in Prague. They're actually 0-3 at home so far, but the under 5-1-1 the last 7 meetings in this series. Um, I just think it's a tough ask. Did you say puck line or money line?
I just going to take them on the money line, the plus 150.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. Um, I think, for Vegas to get a win, they have to go, I understand they really dominated San Jose. That's what kind of worries me about taking them here. But I want to go on San Jose at this price at home. Let's have another premium consensus with San Jose at home plus $1.50 against Vegas. Not much on the trend side, is
No,
backing us up there. But again, late night last night. Now you're going about, on the road. San Jose, pretty desperate for a home win, I'd say. Let's take San Jose. Tampa Bay and the Kings. Tampa Bay, $1.20, maybe even $1.25. Total 6.5 under 15 here.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit the over button again. Over 6-1-2, the last 9 between these two teams. Over is 3-1, the last 4 in LA. Over is 5-0 with the Kings in their last 5 overall here as well.
All right. Yeah, well, these two teams, they have a tendency to play some high-scoring games, 6-1-2 the last 9 meetings. Tampa Bay, 5-0 at LA and 11-1 in the last 12 meetings. Wow, that's a pretty strong trend. Kings have been going over so far. We know that 6-1 their last 7. They haven't won at home yet, and Quick hasn't looked that good. I'm going to take Tampa Bay as my free pick today. I'm going to lay that little bit of a price on the road with Tampa Bay, $1.25. Mindy says take the over in.
I like it, Ramon. I like it.
Yeah, we got 4. What do you think, Mindy? You want to roll the 5 plays in the NHL tonight?
Yeah, it's Coyotes versus Blue Jackets over 6.5. Wild Canadians over 6.5. Penguins and Flames over 6.5. And then we got Buffalo Seattle over 6.5. And the Sharks plus 150. Go, baby Sharks.
Okay, well, there you have it. There's 5 more plays for 7 total.
Ramon, that was an awfully big sigh out of you.
In the
over. Oh my goodness.
With all those overs?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I won't, they tell me I'm supposed to exude confidence. I'll just put my record on the screen. How's that? Again, that's a lot of goals tonight. But look, the games are lined at 6.5. I mean, it's not like we're, trying to fool anybody here. Like, there won't be goals. I mean, they're expecting 6 or 7 goals in every single game, just like normal, kind of. Well, I say normal, but I mean, these totals are definitely a tick up from last year as far as, where they're being lined. There's not as many 6s right now as there were last year. And I'm not comparing it to late last year in the playoffs or anything like that. I'm just talking about generalities here. So that's okay. That's okay. Hey, this league doesn't necessarily need less scoring.
Right. Exactly.
Yep, Jay said it. All right, we're going to get into college football now. We're moving to Saturday. We're starting with the noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific games. We're going to cover 11 games right now, starting with Boston College in Connecticut and going through, if you have your rotations in time order, I guess I could say. We're going to go through all the way to Miami and Florida and Virginia. So, okay, that's there, and then we got some good ones in here, Mindy. I know you know that. So let's go ahead and start it off.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams are coming off losses here. Boston College lost to Wake Forest, Connecticut lost to Ball State. These teams are both giving up about 30 points a game on defense. But I just think, Boston College here, they have the little bit better, passing game. They're also 4-0 against the spread in the last 4 versus UConn. I'm going to take Boston College -8 in this one.
Absolutely, we're taking Boston College, and I just moved it on the screen to -8. And if anybody thinks I'm shaving points in a newfangled manner, well, they can check it out for themselves, because really it's actually moving even a little bit further right now. I'd say wait on it. It looks like the Connecticut is a team that's laying a little bit of juice at +8.5 now at some books. So I think we're getting a already, to me, a good price. I mean, the Boston College Open is high as -10 here, and now we're laying 8. Look, I know it's been a disaster. They're 1-6 against the spread, but against Connecticut, they've covered the last 4 meetings. Connecticut, what can you say? They've done a nice job covering 4 straight games, but I just think in this one, I've got to think BC wins this one by double digits. Yes, is that okay.
This one is Felix. He doesn't come around so much, so I was surprised to see him. Hey,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt your.
No, I was done. We're on BC. I was trying to think of if we had a cat mascot in this game, but no, we have a husky, so that's not going to work, and we have an eagle. But anyways, we'll take BC. Mindy, go ahead, and we're going to write it down and as a consensus play. Again, we had one consensus play on the card from Thursday. And if anybody wants to see our previews of those games, you can go on YouTube and check those out. Those 5 games from Thursday and Friday where we did have one consensus play. So check that out. But as we get started here, that's not a husky either.
Nope, this is not. This is a little Yorkie poo.
So we are on BC -8 and advise our Team Steam. Maybe you can even wait a little bit and see if you can get even a better price, because for some reason the Sharps like Connecticut here, and it's okay. I understand it, because Connecticut has actually been a pretty good team money wise. They've been the money making team.
Yep.
BC has been the money burner. There's no doubt about it.
That's right.
We're on the money burner here. So Miami of Ohio at Akron. I'm moving into some MAC play here. Miami of Ohio 8.5 total. Oh, I don't even have the total. It's 48 though.
Yeah, and again, these two teams kind of been, struggling here as well. Miami, Ohio, they're 3-5, and Akron, they only have 1 win this season. Miami, Ohio scored 23 points their last 2 games, ranked 232nd in scoring. Akron isn't really too much better offensively. Unders 5-2 in the last 7 meetings between these two. I'm going to go under the 47.5.
All right. Mindy is on the under there. Yeah, Akron, what you said it. 1 win in 8 games so far this year. That's bad. But Miami of Ohio, they've been, getting the money, right? They've covered 4 out of their last 5 meetings at Akron. The series has gone 2-5 to the under at Akron the last 7. And Miami of Ohio, Mindy mentioned it. She's got the under here, 1-7 to the under so far in this one. But for me, I think the value is on Miami of Ohio. I think they can win this one by double digits. I have them certainly at closer to that opening number of 10. I'm going to take Miami of Ohio on the road. I'm going to lay 8.5, and Mindy is going to go under 48 at a good price. Maybe you want to even wait on that, folks, if you want to see what happens. That one could go up. All right, got an interesting ball game here with undefeated TCU on the road, favored by 7. The total is 69.
Yeah, I mean, at 7-0, TCU's coming off a big win, 38-28 over Kansas State. Like you said, West Virginia kind of struggling. 3-4, got blown out by Texas Tech, 48-10. TCU, they're ranked 6th in the country, not because it's a fluke. They're out there playing well on both sides of the ball. And then West Virginia, they give up 33 points a game. TCU, they're 5-1-1 against the spread their last 7. I think TCU is going to, I don't know. I feel like they're going to run away with this one. I know it's in the Morgantown, but I don't know. I like TCU here.
I do too. To me, West Virginia, I mean, obviously they've been a bit of a disappointment, but it's just been such a good series for West Virginia. They've covered 6 straight meetings, and 7 of the last 8 meetings have gone under. So, but TCU to me just looks like I think they can win this one by double digits, maybe even 2 touchdowns. That's the way I feel. And man, West Virginia, they can get riled up and do some things at home sometimes that when they're not expected to. And this is a series where they've gotten the better of TCU, but TCU looks like the much better team right now. So let's have a consensus premium on TCU.
TCU.
Yeah. All right, this one's kind of a runaway favorite here now with Florida State. I mean, it opened as low as 18, but we know Georgia Tech has quarterback issues. They're down to a backup without, I think, a lot of success or experience even. So this one's a bit of a tough handicap right now, and Florida State laying 23 points and the total 48. That total's way down, but obviously with the Georgia Tech quarterback situation, that's got to be a reflection of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these is Georgia Tech going to be able, to score the 7, the 10, the 14, that sort of thing. I mean, I don't know if Florida State, you're coming into this with 3 straight losses here. Just lost to Clemson. I don't know if that's going to be another, demoralizing lost to this team. Georgia Tech lost to Virginia, only 16-9. But, they had won that prior game, to the loss there as well. Florida State, they averaged 30. So again, if I think, Georgia Tech can put up a couple scores, I kind of feel like they're going to be having a little bit of trouble covering the spread. Georgia Tech, they averaged 16. So it's going to be really, really close. But I think I'm going to take Georgia Tech, even though, I know they're not a real explosive team here. But I see Florida State sometimes having trouble, just finishing drives, being a little bit lazy, maybe more field goals and touchdowns in this game. I'm going to take Georgia Tech in the 23.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. Look, Georgia Tech might not score. This is a problem. But they've covered. They've gone 6-0-2 against the spread in the last 8 meetings against Florida State, and 6 of the last 7 have gone under. So the defense does a decent enough job, even though maybe Georgia Tech has been. But again, the games had a lot different context. Previously in those games. So for me, I think I've got to go under this number. That's going to be my play. So Mindy's on Georgia Tech. I don't mind that play, but I'm just worried that they might not score. And so I feel much safer with under 47.5, and just have to throw my numbers out the window there because of the Georgia Tech situation. So not a comfortable game at all for me. So let's go into a game that's way more exciting. Game of the week here. Game of the week. I don't know how you like it at 11 a.m., Mindy, but no doubt Ohio State, they're up to 15.5. It's gone up a little bit. I mean, opened earliest lines were as low as 11, but we know that Ohio State's been terrific. Penn State, that you've been on them this year. They're having a great year. What's going to happen in the big game this week?
Well, I think Ohio State, they're going to still remain undefeated. I thought Penn State that they would have a really nice season. They have been. I expect them to get over the 8.5 wins. I did place a wager on that at the beginning of the season, but I don't see Ohio State, losing this game in this spot. They pretty much dominated Iowa. We kind of talked about that a little bit, but Iowa, of course, has trouble scoring. Penn State, did beat up on Minnesota, but did lose to Michigan then the week before. That third-ranked offense is just going to be, I think, trouble for a Penn State team, especially when you have teams like, Ohio putting up a lot of points versus, Penn State. I just think the defense is not very, stout when it comes to an Ohio State team and that offense. And then the Ohio State defensive, squad, they're ranked, about 10th in the nation. So I don't know. I think Ohio State, they're going to get this one again. They're 4-0 against the spread versus Penn State, 3-0-1 against the spread the last 4 conference games. I just think Ohio State here is going to be able to take this one.
All right, and I'd say lay it now. I think it's going to go up, and I'm going to agree with you. I want to give Penn State every chance to cover this game. I really do. I mean, you kind of wish it was a night game a little bit with Penn State. The teams are a combined 10-4 to the over this season, and Penn State's been terrific against Ohio State, covering 5 of the last 6 games. So, man, that's a lot of points that we're going to have to lay there, Mindy, but I'm willing to go there with you and take Ohio State, and let's lay it today because it could be higher tomorrow, 15.5, 16, whatever it is. This one could get to a key number of 17. So if you're going to tail with us, now's the time. But, man, the situation says Penn State to me, but the talent level right now, the Ohio State's only played 1 road game too, so that also bothers me a little bit. But I have them closer to almost 20 in this game. I really do right now. So let's take Ohio State.
All right,
lay those points on Saturday. All right, Notre Dame and Syracuse. One team that's overachieved, maybe one team that is a chronic underachiever of late. Syracuse is favored here, -2.5, a juice 2.5. Could see some threes out there. Total 47.5.
Yeah, now this one's going to be really exciting. I mean, Syracuse is just so fast. I love how they play. They attack the ball. They're 6-1, of course. Lost that last game to Clemson in a real fun back and forth game. While Notre Dame, they defeated UNLV 44-21. I just think Syracuse looks just so much better here offensively and defensively than Notre Dame does. Notre Dame kind of gives me like this dull feeling when I watch them. Like I don't see anything really exciting coming out of there, this season. And I think a lot of it is there hasn't been a lot of talk about them either. And so I feel like they're used to that talk about everyone talking about Notre Dame, everyone, being in on it. And I think that's just kind of, maybe been a letdown to me or how it looks, to the squad itself. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, one of those things. But yeah, Notre Dame, I don't know. I don't know how to explain them. They look like they're just kind of going through the motions to me. So we'll see how this works out. Syracuse 9-2 against the spread, their last 11 home games, 5-0 against the spread, their last 5 non-conference games. I think Syracuse is going to win this one at home.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mind that. This is the game that Notre Dame, you'd think this was one, and Mike's on Syracuse with you. Good job, Mike, there. Syracuse, what can you say? I mean, 6-1 against the spread and straight up so far this season. Teams are combined 4-10 to the under this year. Look at that total going up to 47.5. I mean, boy, I kind of want to wait and see what happens with the total here. Syracuse has gone under now in 4 straight, but Notre Dame's covering conference games, 5 straight conference games now. I'm going to end up here. I'm going to end up here on the under with Notre Dame and Syracuse. Worried that it continues to go up. I don't, as I'm looking at market perspective, that says that early money's coming in over, and I wanted to go under, but I will go under. I'm going to go under 47.5. Mindy's on Syracuse in the game between Notre Dame and Syracuse.
I like the under.
Go back to the MAC. Toledo and Eastern Michigan here. Toledo's down to 6.5. They opened as high as 10, and the total, which opened as high as 61.5, is now down to 57.5.
Yeah, Toledo's coming off that loss to Buffalo, 34-27. Eastern Michigan won their last one versus Ball State, 20-16. Toledo here, they got the 35th ranked offense in the country. They average 37 points a game. Eastern Michigan, it's about 10 points lower, 27 points a game. Toledo 6-1 against the spread their last 7. I think Toledo will take this one. And I think Eastern Michigan's really kind of dipped since their, I think, strong outing at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think it's a spot for me to get on Toledo here. I mean, they've won 14 of the last 21 meetings against the spread. Eastern Michigan is 0-4 against the number at home this year. Could be a high-scoring game. Worried me that the total's going down because I do lean toward the over here. But the fact that we're on Toledo, I don't know if the line will go much lower than this.
Yeah,
It's all, like I said, we're already getting a great price. But let's get on Toledo. Minus 6.5. We can't wait, but you can if you want. The move has been totally to Eastern Michigan. So Mindy and I are going to lay those points on the road as a consensus premium here.
Consensus play.
Okay, back to the Big 12 here. Oklahoma and Iowa State, Mindy.
Oh my goodness.
Be an exciting game, certainly. Oklahoma has been flubbing it up a bit as far as getting the numbers. They're not covering for sure. Oklahoma, though, favored here by 1.5, total 56.
So what to do on this one, right? I mean, it's going to be a crazy game. These always are. Oklahoma won their last one, 52-42 versus Kansas. That was a really, fun game to watch. They're 4-3 on the season. Iowa State 3-4, and they've now lost 4 in a row. The last one they lost to Texas 24-21. And then if you take a look at what Texas did to Oklahoma, I mean, it is like this vicious circle there in the Big 12. Iowa State has the 11th ranked defense. Oklahoma gives up 31 points a game. I like the underdog, Ramon. Underdog's 5-2 against the spread in the last 7. I'll take Iowa State and plus 1.5.
Heck yeah, we're on Iowa State. Are you kidding me? Oklahoma 2-5 against the number this year. Oklahoma 2-5 against the number last 7 meetings against Iowa State. I like Iowa State to win this one by about a touchdown. Come on, forget underdog, Mindy. When we put that in, let's take the plus 105, 110, whatever it is. Iowa State's going to win the game, right? You and I, we're going to put them on the money line, aren't we?
Oh, Ramon in your money line. Let's go. Let's do it.
Well, it's not like they're barely. They're only going to be even money or so. They're not going to lose this game by 1 point. Right. Iowa State 2-5 to the under so far this year. I don't know if that's going to happen. Not when these two teams meet. You already talked about how much fun it might be. The last 11 meetings have gone over. I could see this one easily getting to 60 points, and Iowa State's going to have at least 35 of them. I would say 5 touchdowns. Or 5 touchdowns or so. Let's take Iowa State to knock off the Sooners.
Let's do it.
Consensus premium on Iowa State.
Go Cyclones.
South Florida and Houston here. Houston laying big points, 17.5. Total down to 60.5.
Geez, I mean, South Florida just struggling to win this year. 1-6 shows it, and Houston's they're 3-4 or 4-3. I apologize, on a 2-game win streak. Houston averages 32 a game. South Florida gives up, 40. So yeah, Houston's 5-1 in their last 6 October games. I think Houston will go ahead and cover this one.
I think you're right. I think Houston probably should be a 3 touchdown favorite here in this one. I get so excited about Iowa State. I feel so confident here. I don't want to lay necessarily 17.5 points with Houston, but South Florida's been so bad. And I think it's worthy of a consensus play with us. Mindy, I think Houston will be fine here. Teams are combined 11-3 to the over this year, so Houston shouldn't have any trouble scoring points. My concern would be South Florida scoring anything
Right.
to keep up. Really, I mean, to me, I really had this game more towards the mid to high 50s. So the total's already gone down. I've kind of missed out on complete value there as far as that's concerned, even though the trends would say go over with these teams. USF 1-4 against the spread last 5 meetings. Let's take Houston and lay those 17.5 points against South Florida.
Consensus play.
Yeah, another one. Arkansas and Auburn. Good match, good game, good matchup here. Arkansas favorite on the road. They are -4, and the total is down to 60 apparently.
Yeah, Arkansas 4-3, beat up on BYU last time out. Geez, 52-35. Auburn has lost 3 straight games now, losing to Ole Miss 34-48. Arkansas, they usually, just average more points, about 100 yards more on offense. I think Arkansas will cover this one, -4 at Auburn.
I think they will too. Mindy. We're just gonna look. They're not very good at covering the numbers this year, but I really think they might be able to get there by more than a touchdown in this one. Even though Arkansas is 1-5 against the number so far this season, but last 6 meetings have gone over. 5 of 7 at Auburn, and 7 of the last 8 meetings have gone under. Auburn has been putting up some big numbers for sure, going 5-1-1 to the over. The total is getting a little bit high for my liking, though. That's the way I was kind of leaning, but man, it really is pretty high now. Let's take Arkansas, the Hogs. Let's take the Hogs, another play. Oh boy.
Oh, good.
End up with a little bit of a man. 6 or 7 plays here on this early college card. I hope that's okay. We started slow last Saturday and then started winning all the games late. So let's get off to a good start
this season. Yeah, opposite this slate.
Miami and Virginia is our last game that we're going to cover today on our college previews. Miami is a favorite here on the road. They've been absolutely dreadful against the number. Miami 2.5, total 40, up to 48.
Oh my goodness. I never know what to do with Miami. This is the most up and down team, I think, on my card normally. They're 3-4 in the season. Their last one being 21-45, beat down by Duke and Virginia. They're 3-4, won their last game. We talked about it, 16-9 versus Georgia Tech. Virginia, they're 236th in scoring. The under is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings between these two teams. Under is 4-0 in the last 4 meetings between Miami and Virginia overall. I'm taking the under because I can't decide anything between these two teams on the side at all, whatsoever. None.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Miami's so bad, right? 1-6 against the number, but Virginia hasn't been anything special either, right? At 2-5 against the spread. These teams you mentioned, they totally go under in this series, but I'm not sure they will. And the total's gone up from 46.5, so the market is saying that there will be points in this one. So I don't think I can get on board with you there and fade the.
I'm going to be excited for your pick, Ramon. What's it going to be?
It's going to be Virginia. I'm going to take Virginia plus 2.5 at home against Miami in this one, and maybe tip my hand there a little bit on what's going to happen with the total. Might be going against you with the little premium action. Anyways, okay, that's going to do it for our previews for college football today. We'll have more college football action tomorrow, as well as more basketball and more hockey. We got to wait all the way to Friday for the World Series to start.
No,
And
they're giving us
I
some
asked
break.
you yesterday about and you lean, but I actually now I'm ready to make my pick, and I think I'm going to go opposite. But I think the Astros look. They're going to be to me $1.75 in almost every game. And how can they be $1.75 in the series if they're going to be at least $1.75? I don't know. Maybe Wheeler and Nola, those games might be
A little
dollar
closer.
35 or 40. I didn't even look at the game one line yet. But to me, I think $1.75 actually sounds cheap. I think the Astros should be a much larger favorite. Verlander 160 over Wheeler right there. So that's almost the series price. I think the Astros at $1.75 are too much. Too cheap for me. I like it big actually. I like it very very strong.
You and the furniture guy, right? What's
Me
his
and
name?
Mattress Mac,
The
right?
Mattress Mac. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's he
he's
gonna
gonna
win?
win.
175 million?
He's gonna win millions of dollars. Of course,
Exactly.
it's a hedge, right, against
Well, of course.
his furniture business, where he invites people to come in and buy a bunch of furniture, and if the Astros win the World Series, everyone gets free furniture. I
Yeah.
think they have to pay the sales tax or something like that. But in turn, he wins all that money to pay for all the furniture he just gave away. If the Astros lose the World Series, everyone has to pay for their furniture.
For the furniture.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
that's what he's
He's a
win
businessman.
it all, get it all, win it all, get it all. Is what Mattress Mac says, and yeah, it's a pretty big sum. And again, credit to these books; they're willing to step it up and you know. Uh,
Take
offer him
that.
those
Yeah.
odds. A lot of times you might see, some market prices out there that kind of reflect it. I don't think $1.75 series price reflects it at all. So, all
Can
right,
we do recap of that college football real quick?
God, oh, please do. I mean, there's a lot of plays here, and I think we came at it with what did we have like 20 plays last Saturday, and we ended
Something
up
like
in the
that.
green barely, but
Yeah.
let's go ahead.
All right. So we got Boston College -8, TCU -7, Ohio State -15.5, Toledo -6.5, Iowa State on the money line, Houston -17.5, and Arkansas -4.
Well, I did notice there you reading those off 5 road favorites. That is not a great sign from a handicap. From a
I know we went against all the trends today, Ramon. We were like talking about, home dogs and unders, and look at what we did. Big favorites,
I'm not.
away favorites, and overs.
I hope no one thinks I'm discrediting
Oh
our
no, 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 no.
selections at
Oh no, no,
all.
no. No.
Again, I'm just and again we're on road favorites this week so far in a lot of these spots. So that's just and no totals surprisingly, but also I did pivot away a little bit because I'm me on my totals.
Yeah, and I kind of like the
how I do the
totals.
damage
College
on there. Head on over to our website, tonyspicks.com. Sign up with the morning steam. Don't miss any of our consensus plays. You just got all these consensus plays from us. We've made $100 betters almost $1,000 just this week with these consensus plays. You get them for free every day right here, Saturday through Thursday, with Mindy and I on the morning steam. But don't miss any of our plays. You can subscribe to them and get them all year. I don't mean to belittle it. $1,200. Get every play all year. What can you say? Pretty reasonable value if you think about it realistically. I know that's a grip of money in a way, but there's our play, Utah, Washington State from the other, and some of our winnings of late as well. We're in a little bit of a good groove right now with the morning steam, like I said, up almost a dime over the last week. So, Mindy, you have anything you want to add to that or talk about we talked about both of our cards, but again, we're doing well with our joint picks here on the show.
Yeah, no, I don't have too much to add other than, Tony's working really hard on revamping here the website, or maybe just adding to, not necessarily revamping, but going to be putting more features out there so you can take a look at all of our records. He also has put everything out on podcasts as well. So if you do miss a show, you can just listen to it, while you're at work on your headphones or something, instead of always having to watch as well. So there's lots of different options here that we have. Morning Steam's been rolling. Again, all of our plays are guaranteed, and everything that we do is fully documented and transparent on the site. And you guys can check that because you can see the plays that we give out to you, and then you can go back to our All Cappers tab, where Ramon was, and you can take a look at the games that we played, and you will see they exactly match, what we put down every day. So, I think we have a good service that we're trying to give to you guys, and we appreciate all of the views, the watches, the comments. It makes it a lot more fun for us here in the morning as well. So make sure you tell your friends about us. We're trying to build our viewership, hoping to keep this going for a long time.
I'll just take a look at what you said, Mindy, because we talked about, we want to talk about the transparency and, people just spewing records all over Twitter, win all these. But the reason why I wanted to get involved with a program like Tony's Picks, and you can too, just go to the footer section and you can talk right to Tony and the GM and possibly join us here, like our new handicapper, Brandon. But again, it's the transparency, right? So we enter our picks into a back end of the site that presents them in um, a format that is in e-commerce product, right? That people can
Right.
purchase right on the site. And we're just entering them in like it's kind of like a sports book, except we don't enter any money. We can only pick who wins and who loses, and it's a one unit play. Those are the picks, and I think that's fair. And you look at the record. So last night there's the 3-0 that I had last night. Mindy, Memphis. I had over in the Pittsburgh, Edmonton, and under in the Pacers and Sixers. Once it's entered in, nothing you can do. It does give you, like a minute or two if you want to
Yeah, to back
make
out.
a mistake or something, right? But you just enter in the picks and they're graded by a third party source through those major line services. It's all automated, kind of like a sports book in a way. So then the results come out and you find them right there on the homepage, on the leaderboard and whatnot. So again, there's some of the hot streak that I've had of late. And, I'm clicking right now. Certainly one of the hot chapters. The dogs are barking. That
They
might not
are.
go well for us. But again, take a look at that right there, Minnie. I know our account plus a dime over last week, but I just will mention, pointing out myself, 42 and 22 is about 65% over the last 7 days with those. If you're betting just 100, again, these are our high end premium picks. I would expect, you guys are watching the show. If you're subscribers to package like this, probably going to play more than $100 on these games. But this is just a generality where I'm up plus 1672 over the last 7 days. My players are probably seeing something, I would say probably close to 5 dimes actually, if you go 2 or 3x on that 100 unit play. A lot of people say, why do you guys keep the units like this? It's just way more easy to track. And again, the thing is, some people will say, oh, I have a 10-star play here and a 1-star play there. And I'm never going to criticize people who will bet 1,000 a game and 100, because I do end up playing a lot of smaller plays almost to keep track of who wins and loses, and with my opinion, when I just bet a little bit here and there, so I make sure I go back and I see who won or lost. But really, if you're betting seriously, the unit sizes should rarely matter too greatly, because unfortunately for sports betting, luck is a major factor in the wins and losses, and a handicapper's job is just to nitpick that little percentage each time to put you on the right side of the line. So hope that clears a little bit up about why we do things. I'm not speaking for Tony, certainly, but as an observer and someone who's joined their organization, that's kind of the way I see it, and I think I like the way that that is. Somebody shouldn't be able to go and just start, bombing 10-unit plays to try to fix their record or anything like that. There's just too many games. Again, the Super Bowl, yeah, we'll put more on the Super Bowl and have a lot of fun, but really, and more information is available on those higher profile games, but really, it probably should be no more than maybe just a unit or two over a regular play. So, anyways, great show. We'll be back tomorrow with more morning steam. Thank you, Team Steam. Appreciate everybody in the chat today as well. We'll start, with Carrie was there and Mike was there. Great to see you guys today. Matt was there, Mario, also Ron, Butterscotch in there. I think I covered everybody.
I think
Mindy,
Tom was in there for a while. Yeah.
Blake was there too. So awesome to have you guys on. Kind of a slow day, but you guys kept us busy, and hopefully we've got winners, Mindy.
That's right. Lots of winners.
All right. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Catch you tomorrow with more Morning Steam. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye.